Hello, we're going to take a look at the final exam review for Mat114. This is from fall 2020. So from within your More account, you'll want to scroll down to the folder that's final exam review. You're going to click there, and then we're going to click on the final exam review. So I will work through each of these 55 questions in order, starting here. And we may take some breaks along the road. We'll just see how things go. So this first question is to subtract two fractions. Notice they do not have common denominators, so that's going to be our first task, is to get them to have common denominators. So the common denominator is 11 times 5, because there's no common factors in there. So we take the first one, 10/11, and we multiply it by 5 over 5. And remember, when we're doing this, we're multiplying by 1, so that's not really changing anything, 5 over 5. The second fraction, we're going to multiply both the top and the bottom by 11. 11 over 11. Okay, and when we're doing that, we're multiplying by, what is 11 over 11? It is 1. It is a type of 1, and so it's not going to change things. So we get 5 times 10 is 50 over 55, 5 times 11. And then we get 11 times 1, which is 11. 5 times 11 is 55. Now that we have common denominators, we have the same size of segments, we're dealing with the same things, we can actually subtract. So we've got 50 take away 11. So that gives us 39 55ths. And this does not reduce, because this is 5 times 11. 39 is 3 times 11, no, not 11, times 13. Anyway, no common. And so we can just go ahead and enter that in there. Now again, since it's a fraction, you might want to click on this. It gives you a little template, 39 over 55, and then we save that. Okay. Going to do the same thing with each of these, but I'll go through each because each one of these is maybe a little different, right? So we'll change to green here. Here we're going to add, so same thing, we need to get a common denominator, and then we add them together. So it would be the same as this. Get common denominator. In 6/7 we multiply it by 11 over 11, and 3/11 we multiply it by 7 over 7. So I'll leave that one to you. This one here, we're going to multiply the two fractions, and the way we multiply fractions is straight across. So we take 4 times 2 in the numerator and 5 times 7 in the denominator. So we get 8 over 35. Okay. And that does not reduce, so because it does not have common multiples, common factors in there. And now the last one we're going to take a look at, let's change our color, let's go violet. We're going to look at a division problem. And remember, you take the first one just as it is, and you do division by, since division is the opposite of multiplication, we invert, so we take the reciprocal of the second one, 4/5 becomes 5/4, and then we multiply straight across. So that's going to give us 25 over 16. Now it might want a mixed number, let's see, as proper fractions or mixed numbers. And again, I'll let you know that I really don't like mixed numbers. In algebra, we generally don't. But what we're doing is, how many times does 16 go into 25? Well, it goes into it one time. So 16 times 1, and then how many is left over? Well, that's 25 minus 16 will be left over, and that's going to be 9. So then we have 9/16 left over. And again, that's the way we need to enter it. So we'll come here, we'll put in our, get our little tool. Move it up a little bit. So I just put my 1 in first, and then I put my fraction tool, and then we can put in our 9/16. So I just want to kind of cover everything. We'll save that. Okay. Let's preview it to make sure, yeah, it's looking good. We'll submit it. Obviously, we didn't answer one of them, or I didn't answer one of them, but we got all of these correct. So we'll clear out the screen, and we'll keep moving forward. Okay. This one, split your school costs for this term. So you had 6,300 and financial aid covered 75%. So percentages, percent of that amount, we multiply. And to turn a percent into a decimal, we take that and divide it by 100. And notice that's what the percentage is, kind of the 2 zeros there. So that's going to give us 0.75. Okay. We're going to multiply that times the 6,300. Do that with our calculator. 6,300 times 0.75. 4,725. Let's see if that's the right answer. So cause was this one, financial aid covered 70. How much did financial aid cover? Well, they covered the 75%. Which was 4,725. How much did we have to pay? Well, we could just subtract, or another way you could do it, and just think that this helps, is you could have taken the 63. That means if they paid 75%, we paid the complement. We paid 25%. Right? We'll get this either way. And notice that both of these together add to 100. We're multiplying by 1. Pull up my calculator again. And we've got 6,300. Again, you could subtract the 4,725 or multiply by 0.25. 1,575. Now, when you go through, you'll get different numbers on these things. That's how more works. It allows. That's why I can do these, and then you will still have practice because you'll have your own numbers in there. Let's go to number 3. So now we're given a formula here, and we're going to use this formula. Find the volume of a cylinder with radius of 4 and a height of 3. So h is for the height, r is for the radius. So we just need to substitute in, evaluate this formula. We've got pi. We've got r is going to be 4. We're going to square that, and then it gets multiplied times the height, which is 3. Okay, so this was r, this was h. Right? We started with this formula. We're just plugging in the numbers for the letters that were unknown, and we'll have it. And it says use the pi button. on your calculator so we get enough accuracy, and then we want to round it to the nearest hundredth. Okay, see if we have a pi button. We do have a pi button, so we can go pi times 4 squared is 16. You could enter that in separately. And then we're going to multiply by 3. 150 to the nearest hundredth, 796. So the 9 gets rounded out because the 6 is more than 5, right? More than halfway or more, 5 or more. So that 9 becomes a 0, carry the 1. That's going to be 8. So 150.8. 80. Submit it. Oh, I forgot. We have to tell what kind of inches we have, and since we've multiplied, we've squared and then multiplied, these are 3, it's to the 3rd power. These are cubic inches. That's what volume is about. So be sure you get that part. All right, just keep going through. We have another formula. So a lot of good practice here. So as we keep going through, you'll get it. Before I even read it, I just say, okay, there's my formula. And now they're going to probably tell us what it's about. T is in years. So I know T is in years, so that's an input. And D is the debt. Okay, it gives us the debt. Use this formula to predict the total average credit card debt in the year 2019. And notice we're starting in 1995 as the first year, so that would be year 0, t is equal to 0. So we've got to figure out how many years have passed by first. So it's 2019 subtract 1995. Of course, you could just count on your fingers if you wanted from 1995 up to there, but it might take a little while. So 5 from 9 is 4, 9 from 1 or actually 11 is going to be 2. So that's 24 years. And then everything else would cancel. 24 years. So we use the formula. D is going to be equal to 409 times 24. 24 years have passed. Plus 5, 10. So what this formula is really telling us that the average credit card debt is they're adding $409 per year to the debt. It's not going down, it's going up. And so after 24 years of people getting higher and higher debt, this is what the average credit card debt would be. So let's clear 409 times 24 plus, wow, that's a lot. So it says the average credit card debt is now $15,326. $15,326. Oops, D. Submit it. It's good. And you'll have slightly different numbers, but just kind of keep rolling along. Question number 5. So we made a new toy last year. It costs $5,800 to develop the toy and then $10 to manufacture each toy. Determine the algebraic expression representing the total cost to produce n of these. So some unknown. So if I had to produce 2 toys, 2 times 10 would be 20, plus all the costs it got to develop it. So total cost is going to be the development cost plus however many I'm going to make. Each one will cost me $10, and then n will be the number that I make. So this is my formula right here. That's my expression. Okay, and they want little n. Syntax is okay. Then to produce 4,600 toys, what would be that cost? Well, now I can use my formula, my expression. and then it's going to be 10 times each toy. It's 4,600. So when you multiply by 10, you just tack a 0 on the end, so that's going to be 46,000 plus the 5,800. And again, you could use the calculator on this or just do this, and then so we add these two together, that's going to be 51,800. Number 6, now like terms. We're going to have to define like terms. And like terms mean they have the same variable parts. So this first one, all of them are the variable f. So we're really just counting. What I would do is there's 8 here and there's -8 here. So that gives me a 0. It's easy to keep track of. There's +5 and -2 here. So take 2 away from 5 and we have what left? 3f. All right, they're all like terms. The bottom one, like terms, is the variable part has to be identical. So t cubed, that's going to be like a t to the third. So there's 3 and there's 1, right? When there's no no coefficient, there is a 1 in front. 1t. So that's all the t cubed. So 3 plus 1 is going to give us 4t cubed. And then now we're looking for the t squared. Well, there's only one of those. There's not another t squared. So we'll come back here. It's a t. So we'll minus t squared. And then we're going to look for the ones that are just t. There's 4 here plus 8. So 4 plus 8 is 12 t. So that's going to be our answer, combining like terms. We cannot combine these with addition and subtraction because they are not like things. So this is our answer for t. And there's this little caret thing here we can use. Or remember, you can always click on this, and sometimes that's a little bit nicer as far as formatting, because it does it as, and then you have to arrow out plus 12t. Okay, save that, shows it like that. You'll submit it, and we're all good. Excuse me. Question 7. Now we're getting some more algebra, so we'll just kind of keep moving forward. Remember, this one we're going to distribute the 6 through both of these, so that gives us 6x minus 18 minus 2. And now we combine like terms, which are just the number parts. -18 minus 20, or say -18 minus 2 gives us -20. 6x minus 20. Oops. It should have been 6x. Not 60. There we go. Okay. Second one, again, just more practice. We're going to distribute, but this negative is going to come with the distribution. So we're going to -9 times 6. So we get 3 minus 54x. And then -9 times +2 will give us a -18. Okay. Like terms are the 3 and the -18. They're opposite signs, so we subtract. And so we get -54. We'll start with that. X, because it's no like term. And then we're going to end up with a -15. Right? 18 minus 3 is 15. And since 18 is larger and it's negative, it stays negative. Okay. And now another one where we get to do double distribution, what I call it. So we got to think of this negative here as being a -1. So we'll take the 7, distribute it, and then we're going to take the -1 and distribute it. 7 times x, 7x, 7 times -3, negative 21. Negative 1 times 4 gives us a negative 4x. And then negative 1 times negative 5, negative and negative make a positive. Negative times a negative anyway. And then we combine like terms. 7 and 4, they're opposite signs, so we subtract. That's going to give us 3x. Right, 7 minus 4, 3x. And then negative 21 plus 5, again, we're going to subtract because they're opposite signs. That gives us 16. And since the 21 is negative, we're more negative than positive, that's going to be minus 16. Submit it, check it, and we're all good. Again, look at slightly different ones. We'll do a couple more, and then I'll take a break. Okay, solve the equation, write your answer in exact form and appropriate form. Okay, so we do have an equation. We can solve this. And when we have equations, we solve them by doing the same thing to both sides. So 6x minus 11 equals 58. So I'm trying to get x by itself. I'm trying to find out what x is. So what I'm going to do, since I'm subtracting 11, I'm going to add 11 to both sides. That gives us 6x here. These cancel, becoming 0. And this becomes 69. Now we're going to divide both sides by 6. And then we're going to get the x, because 6 divided by 6 is 1. 69 divided by 6 is going to be, let's see how we're supposed to leave our answer. Remember that fractions must be always reduced. And approximate. Okay, so exact answer and approximate. So that's what they're playing with. So the exact answer will be the fraction. And they want them as either as a proper fraction or mixed number. Okay, so how many times does 6 go into 69? Well, first of all, we can see that 3 goes into both of these. So let's reduce it by dividing both of them by 3. Bottom. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 3 goes into 69 23 times. 2 goes into 23. Well, it goes into 22, so that would be 11. This is going to go in 11 times with 1 left over, right? Because 11 times 22 is, or 11 times 2 is 22. So 23 minus 22 gives us 1 left over. So we have 11 and a half for the exact answer. And then you can turn 1/2 into a decimal. So the approximate answer will be 11.5. Let's put those in. 11, and I like to go with this thing, give me my fraction, 1/2. Now you might argue that 11.5 is also an exact answer because we didn't have to round it either, but I think that's, we had a third left over and non-repeating. Let's see how that works. Yeah, I liked it either way. I don't know that it would take 11.5, but that's what they're wanting. The exact answer should be a fraction or mixed number, and approximate answer, decimal. Let's go for 2 more. There we go. Solve an equation. So this is, again, we're just putting everything together. We're going to distribute, combine like terms. We're going to have an x on both sides. So there's a few things we're going to take care of here. So let me just rewrite it out so we have room to work with it. Give ourselves plenty of room for x. So we want to solve for x. So first thing is we will distribute. Okay, so then we get 6 times x is 6x. 6 times -1, -6. 3 times x, 3x. 3 times 1, plus 3. We could combine like terms here, so 4 and -6, we're going to get 6x minus 2. Now, the first thing I would want to do now is we're solving for x, but we've got x on both sides. We need x on one side. So this is a +6 and -3. What I like to do is keep the variable positive if I can. It's not a requirement, but I'll take the smaller one, minus 3x, I'm going to subtract it from both sides. Remember, that's what I'm doing. So whenever I have an equal sign, I can do the same thing to both sides and it stays equal. So this cancels out here. This becomes 0. 6 minus 3 is going to be 3x minus 2 equals 3. Now I've got the x on one side, so I'm good to go. Let's go ahead and add 2 to both sides. You get a canceling. This becomes 0. So then we have 3x equals 5. And write your answer is an integer, fraction, or mixed number. Okay. And then we're going to divide both sides by 3. So that gives us that x equals 5/3. And that can be written as a mixed number. 3 goes into 5 one time. There's 2 left over, right? 5 minus 3 is 2, so 2/3. No, 1. 1 and 2/3. Making good progress here. Let's do one more. Get to 10, and then we'll take a little break. Okay, so before I start reading through all of this, I go, okay, I got this equation. Cool. Now let me see what this stuff is. I'm probably going to use the equation, so maybe I'll write it there. It says P is the amount paid. Okay, P is paid for the week. Paid for the week. Okay. N is the number of glow sticks. And as I say, I hadn't even read the thing, but now I know what I'm dealing with. I've got a number of glow sticks. I multiply, add this, and that'll be the cost. That'll be how much is paid. And then what I start to see is this stuff up here is telling me how to set up the equation, but they already gave me the equation, so I don't really need it. I don't need to read all that. So how much will Nick be paid if he sells 350 glow sticks? So glow sticks, that's N, right? That's the number of glow sticks. So that must be 350 goes in for N. So the first part here, I'm going to answer by saying P equals 0.81. And for the number of glow sticks, I got 350. And then plus the 120. That's the formula. So I multiply out, and let's clear that up. .81, so 81 cents. Times 350 glow sticks, $283.50 plus the 120. So like so 403.5. 403.5. We'll put a 0 on the end because it's money, right? How many glow sticks did Nick sell if he earned $768? So dollars earned, the amount paid is a P, so that goes over here with the P. And let's see, let's change colors here for this one. So 768.00. I'm going to leave off the cents for now. Times N, we don't know what that is. That's what we're going to find out. So now this was called evaluation up here. Down here, we're going to solve. And So we subtract 120 from both sides. Cancels. 768 minus 120 is going to be 846. 0.81 in, and then we're going to divide both sides by 0.81. Pay 81 cents per, so that's going to give us n equals 648 divided by 80.81. 800. Nice. Submit that one. It's all good. And again, your numbers will be different. Just keep on working through these, and if you've got this one, you remember you can always try another one. Watch if we go to and try another question. The equation's changed a bit. The numbers are changed. It's a way to practice and practice and practice till you okay, everything is settling in nice and good. So we'll take a little break here, and then I'll do another 10 probably, and until we finish this review.